Hello everyone, welcome to this review of the Wolverine statue by XM Studios. This is actually my very first statue from XM Studios. It's a quarter scale statue, so it fits right into my collection of premium formats from Sideshow Collectibles. And the reason that I decided to get this piece is that, well, Wolverine is just a very popular and iconic character, and I really wanted to add him to my collection. I love the yellow and blue suit here. It's so extremely iconic, I find, and I just was also very curious as to what it would be like having a statue from XM Studios, because it's a rather hyped company right now, I would say. And the reason for that, well, there are several reasons for that. One of them is the packaging that they do for their statues. It's a really excellent quality, and I showed this in my unboxing video, so if you haven't seen that yet, you should definitely go and check that out. Another thing is that, well, many of their releases, the product pieces kind of live up to the prototypes, at least in some cases, and it'll be interesting to see if this is also the case with this Wolverine statue. But in the end, I'm really happy having this piece, and I'm really eager to show you all the details of this piece. I'm really happy with it. It's a quite expensive piece, especially with handling. Well, the shipping costs and also the customs and everything, and it's quite hard to get, really, because you can't just buy it from a local shop or anything. There are some licensing restrictions when it comes to XM Studios and their license to sell, because they don't actually have a worldwide license from Marvel. So these pieces from XM Studios can actually be pretty difficult to come by, and you have to know someone in order to really lock one down. But I was really lucky, and with the help from community members, I was able to get this piece, and I'm really happy being able to do this today for you. So guys, let's just get on with this review and see what this piece is all about. So just give me 2 seconds. So here we have him up close, and what's most important about this statue is that he comes with 3 different portraits. Here we have the masked head, which is really one of my favorites, because this just emphasizes the suit he's wearing, and it's just so iconic. I love the way that the yellow colors and the black colors mix here, and the lines between them are very, very nicely applied. The paint job is overall really nice here, especially the skin tones and the lips and everything. The only issue that this portrait has is that if you look at his bottom row of teeth, you can actually see here that the center teeth here is just, it looks like one tooth, where there should be a pair of teeth instead. But this is a known issue, and it was also seen on pictures that were revealed before this piece was actually released to the public. And you can be curious as to why they didn't really fix this. But if you do look close, by the way, you can actually see there is a very thin line there. So it's not like this is really a sculpting issue. I think it's just a mix-up between the painting department and the sculpting department, I suppose. But it's still a very, very nice portrait, I find. And it really shows the character and the wild nature that he has really well. Let's move on to the next head, because I have it right here. It fits on with a magnet. It comes right off. It's really it's a very tight and nice fit, and the magnets are really strong. Now this is a very angry head, as you can see. He's shouting. The paint application here is just excellent. Again, we have the same skin tones, and the lips and the tongue actually, and the inside of his mouth is just really impressive looking, I think. And the teeth, they are perfect, by the way. And just this has a really, really nice expression, I think. Definitely one of my favorite heads as well. You can see the mask, he's pulled it back, so it's on the back here. Now the third head is also an unmasked head. This one. Now this is one of the heads that people are discussing, because most people actually don't like this head. They don't like the way that the character looks here, I think. Now I actually personally think it looks really good. I find that this head actually adds a lot of unique character to this sculpt, or this statue. What they could have done here would have been to include a cigar or something, so you would have this more rough looking character instead of just this, well, just grumpy looking character, I suppose. But I think the paint application is still nice. The overall sculpt, in my opinion, is also very nice. It looks very convincing, and it adds a lot of realism to this piece, I think. So they still did a very good job, in my opinion, when it comes to this portrait. Is it my favorite? Well, probably not. I won't be displaying this statue with his head, I think. At least not for the first time here. But yeah, this is probably the way that I prefer it. So overall, a very nice paint application, and you can also see the same here with the yellow colors and the blacks here. There are some shadows applied to the chest between the muscles, and it really highlights the muscle definition here. So really nicely done here with the paint application. It really shines quality, I find. Right guys, let's move on. Let's have a look at the body, the full sculpt here. So just give me 2 seconds. Alright, here we have the body. Now what I really like about this piece is the pose. I really find this to convey the character's nature or character really well. He's standing here on top of a head of a sentinel. It looks really nice. There are some really nice details on the base, by the way, but we'll get to that. Another thing I really like is the details of the suit. Now, this is the classic Wolverine suit, but there are some really nice details everywhere. And it's like it's a more composite looking piece of suit here, with some fine details and some special areas of the suit, like these different textures on the front and on the sides here, and also on the inner leg here. And we have a leather texture to the belt, and a similar leather texture to the gloves here, and also to the boots. Yeah, it looks really nice, I think. Now, I'm actually gonna show you that he comes with a few more switch out pieces. Now, one of them is his left arm here. You can take that out with a magnet. It's a bit tight actually, because the magnet is really strong. Just gonna put it down here carefully. And then he comes with a simple left arm that is similar to his right arm with his claws out. And it looks really simple, and it looks really nice and iconic. And these claws here, by the way, they're actually made out of metal, I think. They are really shiny and they are really sharp. So you actually have to be a bit careful when you're handling them. And also because they are so delicate, and yeah, they are there, you can see. So you have to handle them with a bit of care. But this, guys, is a really impressive looking statue in my opinion. I'm gonna do a 360. Now, one of the things that I should also mention is his arm hairs here on the back. As you can see, these are grayed out. It's a darker area, and you have these finely detailed hairs on his arms. Now, people have been complaining a bit about that. They would probably have preferred some kind of sculpting instead of just a flat texture and then just drawn on arm hairs, but I think it looks really nice actually from afar. It's only when you're up close and pixel peeping that you really notice that these hairs are there. From a normal viewing distance, from a distance that you would look at this statue from, it looks really convincing actually. And besides, it's on the back, and you'll probably be looking at the statue from the front, so it's not really anything that you notice much. His muscles are really nicely sculpted everywhere on his arms, his body and his legs. Really convincingly looking. And yeah, it's just a really nice sculpt, I think. It's a rather heavy statue, by the way, so it feels like a solid sculpt. And that's always a nice thing, especially in these times where you have all these statues that are, well, hollow and cheap feeling, I suppose. So XM Studios really make some solid and heavy feeling statues, and that's also what really sets them apart these days, I suppose. Now, I'm gonna wrap up this review by just doing a full shot and talk about the base and all the other bits and pieces that comes with this statue. So just give me 2 seconds while I set that up. Alright, here we go, guys. I just zoomed out a bit, actually, that's all. I'm gonna change the head for the remainder of this video, just because I can, and I feel like doing it. Like so. And yeah, it's just a really nice release by XM Studios, and I can somewhat follow all the hype. I can't really understand why we have these excessive prices for XM Studios statues. I think it's just supply and demand, really, because they are a bit harder to come by, and for that reason these statues go for a rather premium price. I think you could buy like 4 or 5 premium formats for the price of one of these statues from XM Studios. But maybe over the course of time the prices will normalize a bit. Now, one of the things about the base, I want to turn the base so you can see it here, and I'm also going to show you some pictures, of course. Now, the base is really nicely detailed. It's huge and it's really heavy, and you have these eyes on it that you can actually, I'm going to check this off. As you can see, this fits on with a magnet. Inside we have an eye, and there are actually 2 of these and they are exactly the same. So they fit into each of his eye sockets, and both of them have a switch that makes the eye blink. And that's a really nice detail, and I love the fact that this is not, that this is not connected through wiring going in over the entire base or anything. This is just a simple thing here that is easily replaceable, so you don't have to worry about wiring and things not working later, and that's really nice. And on his other eye socket right now, I have this this is actually another thing you could put inside of this eye socket instead of the blinking eye, so it looks like he pulled out the eye with his claws, because as you can see here, the switch out hand here, he actually has the eye thingy here hanging with wires and everything. It looks really nice. So this adds a really nice display option to this statue. Really just showing the brutal way of Wolverine, and that's really nice, I think. Now another thing that's interesting to mention is this little thing. I got this on a holder here, it fits right on it. This is a coin. Like, you could call this an exclusive thingy. Not everyone will be getting one of these, and actually XM Studios discontinued these coins, so you won't actually be getting this coin for some of their more recent releases. I don't recall which will be the last that has a coin, maybe the Thor statue or something, but I was really lucky to get one. It's enclosed in this protective case here, and you just have Wolverine on the front here with his masked head, and on the back there's this X-Men logo and some text. It says Wolverine X-Men Studios limited edition, and then it's copyrighted by Marvel. And this is just a really nice little detail. It's not really anything that has anything to do with the statue itself, but it's a nice detail, and it makes it feel even more exclusive. But it's not crucial in terms of making this statue more interesting, because it's just a nice little added benefit, I suppose. But I was lucky to get one of those also. But all in all, guys, I'm really happy with this statue. The quality is really there. The paint application is really nice. Everything about this is just awesome, I think. Now, people might have their opinion on XM Studios. Personally, well, I like what they're doing, because I find that they're challenging Sideshow collectibles and making them up their game, kind of. And that's always a good thing. Competition is always good, because it should in the end benefit the consumers. So for that reason, I'm pretty happy that we have a company like XM Studios around to kind of just challenge Sideshow, because Sideshow really is the big player on the statue collecting market right now. So that's always nice. The quality is definitely here, guys, but it's also a very expensive statue, so I can only recommend this if you really have the funds for it, because this piece is just really at a premium price these days. And it's the same deal with most of the other statues, especially the Magneto on the throne statue. Really an expensive statue these days, and it's, well, you could buy a good car for the price of those statues, really. But in any case, I'm satisfied, I'm happy with this, and I find that it will fit right into my collection, and for that reason I'm just personally very thankful having this in my statue collection today. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post them. I'll be more than happy to try and help you out. And do remember to like, subscribe and everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this review, and I'll see you in the next one.